GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With insuremycars.ie. Get low prices and save on your car insurance today at insuremycars.ie.
How we doing, everyone? Here we go. Actually, you know something? You need to make the most of this GloryDaze podcast because it might be the only one you get for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, this could be it now because we're off away on our holidays. Now, when I say we're on our holidays, where are we going? We are both going to our favourite place. Haven't been there in a while, since yesterday actually, because we're going home.
Home
yeah. Is where we're going to spend our time. We're having basically one of those staycations. I'm having a staycation because I'm welcoming foreigners from abroad, and Americans no less, are coming to stay with us in the house as we gallivant around the place and share their new family members with them. Jim is staying on his own because it's the full moon has just passed and anything could happen. And he just doesn't like having been around the people when he can be at the house.
You know what I mean? And I'll probably exercise my abilities as a domestic god and do things around the house and the garden and everything and all that.
Yes.
Actually, maybe I'll just commit to work. But anyway.
But sure, anyhow. What are you going to do?
I mean, I'm not sure, maybe they might stick on a best of or something next week since we're not here.
I don't know who's even in. Isn't that mad? I always get, I never want to even know because, but there's a part of you be afraid. What if they're good? Now I'm in real trouble. Right? I don't mind when Jim's good because I'm here to bring him down. But when someone else is good, you're like, well, what happens then?
You don't want
that.
And
then there's and then you don't want someone to be bad. Because then people they don't come back, and then you get blamed for it. Wow. Especially now we're the number oneers and all. So then you kind of go, well,
it's not like you to
where do you find someone that's mediocre? Unfortunately, they're very hard to find. So I don't know. Either way, no matter what way you look at it, there's a bit of a worry and there's an anxiety to it.
Well, come here, listen. You know the way, and we've done it many times when we've spoken on this podcast. We've always ended up finding the bad things in holidays, right? I mean, you've gone on loads about airports and whatever, and then there's all the, whatever destinations. So does that mean are you better or worse now that you're going on a holiday but you're not actually going on a holiday? Look at that for a question. That stumped him. Not often you can't. He's lost for words.
Why can't you just swap with your neighbour? Wouldn't that be perfect?
No, but are you happy about the fact that you're on holiday, not going on holiday?
Yeah, I think I am actually this time. I wouldn't normally. I am this time. You know why as well? But you see, life is different now. Life's upside down now. I'm happy now because I'll get to be at home and still get to send the children to the creche and all. So I'll actually get to enjoy the house.
Right, yeah.
Not just running around going, don't do that. Oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna fall over. Oh, you're gonna get sick. He got sick. Oh, yeah, he's after farting. Oh, there's poop on the floor. So I get to just enjoy the house. Watch TV, lounge around, be in my underpants in front of the visitors. I get to do all these things.
Sure, they're looking forward to that.
Oh, they don't even know what's going to happen. I've got my best underpants and all on. These ones are less than 3 years old.
No way.
Yeah, so I get to do all that carry on. So I guess so. I got to have a few beers during the day.
Yeah.
The weekend comes, I'll actually have a babysitter in and not even go out. I'll just send them into a different room. Which has kind of been rare these days. So I am looking forward to it.
We've often spoken about the joys of a staycation. The fact that I'd say there's an awful lot of people, right, who spend the least amount of their time in their own gaff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Between
people
work,
who have beautiful houses.
Yeah, between work and going places and... Yeah, actually, that's a good point you make. Even people with lovely houses, because if you did have a few quid on your side, right, and you had got a lovely gaff and everything, chances are maybe you're one of those people then who goes to things like, you go to dinner with people, or you go to shows, or you do things,
dinner and a show,
or whatever, right? And there's probably loads of people who actually spend the least amount of time in their lives in their own gaff.
Yeah. And you wonder what the benefit is of having the big, deadly, nice gaff.
We all want to try and make a nice house. You know what I mean?
And not leave it.
Yeah.
This is why you and me want to retire.
But in order to get a nice house, you have to keep going out of your house to go and get money to put into your house.
Point?
And then you have a nice, and then you go on holidays away from your house. And then you go, out to a show, out to a gig, out to a dinner, outside of your house.
Yeah, this is why rich people go, everybody get out. Just get out. Leave. But I haven't finished that. Fuck off. Out. Get out. peace. I just want peace in my own big fancy home, you know.
A lot to be said for that, I'd say.
Oh, there is a lot to be said for it. You're right.
I'd be well into that.
Yeah, I'd love that too. I would, honestly. Even just a nice room. You know, I have a nice room now, but I can't be on my own in it.
Yeah.
I can't be on my own in it. You know, it'd be nice to just do that, to be able to just like lock the doors.
Yeah.
And not hear the chaos.
And then the other thing that a lot of people do, now obviously not you and I think we've established that about ourselves, is that you have a nice, and they bring people over to their house. Right?
Yeah, I'm doing that for the first time in my life on Sunday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, now in fairness, that's sort of, they're the in-laws and they're travelling a long way.
Well, I haven't, you
can't sort of say to
we're
them,
having a party on Sunday.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but you can't sort of do, but again, it's a special occasion. You know, I'm talking about these people who regularly sort of, come over to ours, I'll cook. Well,
those
Jay,
people.
I
don't want to go to your smelly house. I hate that. It's like when you're going to a place and say, don't get a hotel. What are you getting a hotel for? Stay with us.
Yeah.
What am I don't want to stay with you. I can't have a shite in peace. I can't have a shower in peace. I can't help myself to the fridge. I can't wander around. I can't just stop you talking. I can't hang up the phone. I can't just browse on the phone. I have to go to your house. I'm invited to your house. And what happens? I have to fucking entertain you now. What you know? Well, you're like, would you like a sandwich? I'm a performer monkey. You get me a sandwich. I'm like, right, okay, this is an hour's worth of anecdotes and shit and not looking at my phone and holding and not going to the toilet. And
exactly, hoping there aren't any of those, lulls in the conversation where everybody goes, God.
And then waiting for one of them so you can go, well, I think I'll go to bed. Because it's really hard to do that when you're in someone else's house.
Yeah. Actually, which is worse? Is it worse to be in somebody else's house and then, because then you have to find a way to get out, or for them to be in your house when you have to find a way to tell them to get out?
That's worse.
Is it?
Gobshite in the house is worse.
That's right, yeah.
Gobshite in the house. Gobshite in the house. You know that when you're looking at them, you're waiting for them to go. You're waiting for them to go.
Yeah.
You know, that gobshite.
Better to be in control of your own exes.
Yeah. And you get the whole thing. I had a friend who used to come around, and this is absolutely true. I swear to God, it used to drive me miss at the time. Absolutely mental, right? You come around, you stand there and be like, yeah, just chatting away, blah, blah, chatting away. There's a feeling in the room that this chat has run its course. So he'd stand up and he'd do another chatting away on his feet, walking towards the door, chatting away. And he'd go, anyway, sure, look, I'll just make one more cup of tea. And he'd pick up his cup, walk into the kitchen. I swear to God, this is true. And he'd make a cup of tea and he'd have the cup of tea standing at the door or in the hall. Chatting away.
What sort of?
And it got to the stage where they'd be leaving, and you'd be literally looking at them, going, "Right, there's an arm out. Right, we have an arm. Oh, we have an arm." And then he'd turn his back. Oh, there you go. We've a foot out. Still talking.
Oh my God!
And he'd hand you the cup as he was leaving.
Literally the long goodbye.
He'd hand you the cup as he was leaving. And then, and I hated it. The longest part of it was he'd go. I'd close the door. I'd hold the cup. I'd have to stand there for a second and go, oh, fuck's sake. Because he'd walk into the room and she'd go, what the fuck was that about? I mean, you're in trouble. Yeah,
because he's your friend.
Was he going to be here all fucking night, was he? But that's not happening again. Yeah. Next time you're telling him, it's nothing to do with me. Well, look at you holding a cup and all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought he was never going to fuck off. You're like, it's not my fault.
You're really on a loser there.
And you're just,
you're in your own house, getting stick about somebody who came to your house.
Standing in the hall holding the cup you didn't even get the tea out of. And you're about, oh God.
Wow.
Yeah. And she was right. She was right as well.
What is it about people just that don't pick up on kind of? Surely, how long has that phrase "less is more" been around?
Forever.
And yet people still don't seem to pick up on the idea of don't be fecking overstaying, you're welcome. But if somebody does go to the trouble of actually inviting you to their house for a,
time limit,
have a drink or have a bite to eat with us or blah, 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 honestly, you're much better off being in the situation where you say, God, I better be heading, and have them go, no, here, listen, come on, no, I'll just make you another cup of. It'd be better to be like that.
Yeah.
You actively giving them, look, I'm giving you a chance now.
I'm going. I'm
going to say I'm going. Yeah. If you want to go, sure, look, I'll walk you to the door.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Rather than them looking at you.
Yeah, we were waiting for you to say, come on.
Burning holes with their eyes.
Holes in your eyes.
Thinking, when are you going to get the hint?
And not volunteering in the conversations now.
Yeah.
Ooh. Just wait and try not to ask questions. I'd say your missus goes mad when that happens in the house. She must go mad. She'll be there going, they're about to go. And then there'll be an uncomfortable silence, and she's like, this is it. They're gonna say now. They're gonna say, right, we better go. And then Jim, so how many cousins did you say you had, Niall? You're like, oh God.
No, even I get to that stage.
Yeah, it's like...
I take because my technique is normally to start doing sort of small tidying. You know, check is that can empty.
That's a good one, though.
You know what I mean? And just, and start and I'll just...
And without saying, do another one.
Yeah.
Just to tidy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, maybe I'll just take those glasses away.
Yeah, and then people get... And in Scandinavian stuff, like, they're so much better at it. Because they go, like, you sit down, you have a bit of dinner and the whole lot. And then they'll go, right, I'd say about 15 quid each, you sort that out. And they all go, all right, yeah. And then that's the end. And
really?
Yeah, that's the
So
end.
you announce what they have to pay you.
And then they all stand up and go, right, thanks so much, that was great. See you later.
I don't think it was 15 quid's worth, but anyway.
Yeah, well, no, for grand. Everyone's delighted. We'll pay over the odds just to get out. And that's their way of letting you know. Dinner's done and all that, yeah. Like you have your dinner or whatever, you sit down, you'll have a cocktail, you have a drink, you have a coffee, whatever. And then the host just goes, right. What the fuck? Well, not like that.
To be honest,
that's the end. So they do it. That's the end, and it's considered polite.
Maybe there's a lot to be said for that. Maybe when these kind of house drop by things, right, coming over for dinner, coming over for a drink, whatever, going blah. Maybe it should come with the same sort of thing as like opening hours.
Yes.
And, you know what I mean? Or if events, you get invited to an event, it'll run from 6 to 9.
Americans
or whatever, right?
And it's
so
great.
maybe when somebody, if you're saying to somebody, listen, come over 2 hours, we'll get a Chinese, right? We'll do it from 7 to 9, 8:30 at a push. Is that, what do you think?
Yeah.
And then at least they know, and then you can look at the thing and go, look at that, God, 8:30 already.
9:30,
anyway, listen, I'll see you probably during the week.
Yeah, like Ireland, you have to give someone a warning you're not going to stay. Do you ever see that? You open the door and you go, how are you, Jerry? I'm not staying. I'm not staying now. I'm warning you.
Yeah.
I'm not staying.
Yeah.
I'm not staying. Oh, and they're like, come on in and we give you an L packet of crisps and a shake of the cake and an L ham sandwich. And I think
what sort of fucking houses do you go to? You go in and you get a shake and a cake. Jesus, man.
Imagine. Yeah.
I knew you'd weird tastes and all, but I didn't think it extended to
the only
that.
one ringing, Jerry.
Come here, how you doing? Any chance of another shake?
Sure.
And I'll have the cake as well when I'm here.
Yeah, I don't suppose I could get a shake and a cake off you again tomorrow, could I? But you have to warn people.
Yeah.
And American weddings are a bit like this too. Like you said, that where they do a whole wedding will be starting at 6, finishing at 10.
Yeah.
They finish at 10 o'clock at an Irish wedding. They're only pushing the dinner tables off, getting ready for the DJ and the band or whatever.
Yeah.
But in American weddings, it's like, thank you so much for joining us on our day of love, which is now over.
Feck off.
Please make your way to whatever mode of transport you would like, or they break off into different groups and go to pubs, or if they're staying in hotels.
Some English
weddings,
they do. Some English weddings are like that. They'll do like a reception, but it might be like 3 hours where you have your dinner or something.
That's what Americans do. It's better.
Yeah.
Not this fucking wild shit of Irish people. And you come down in the breakfast buffet and there's still 2 bastards with pints on a rollover.
Yeah.
Oh, you was mad. We were in the room and all. Jerry still has the tie on his head and there's all this crack and people are absolutely wasted for days. And then you go on the second day in Irish weddings.
Yeah.
Second day.
I mean, it's going to just keep getting longer. It'll turn into entire festivals.
And then
you're welcome to PJ and Kelly's Wedding Festival, which runs from the 24th to the 29th of...
it'd be like the Edinburgh Fringe. It'll just go on. There'll be shows and... buskers and magicians.
Sure, there's an opening for. I think we should start a new business, right? Like we can order everything, right? Obviously, you can order food to your house. You can order whatever, all sorts. Drinks now, apparently, you can get stuff done, right? I think you need to be able, like taxis, Ubers, everything. But I think you should be able to order a clearer outer, right? So you get a lad who calls your house at a designated time. You let him in, and he goes around going, right, folks.
That's the brilliant idea.
Time, please.
You're right there, folks, please.
Yeah. And you know homes to go to. Let's go. Here we go.
Let's
now, time's go.
Yeah. Everybody out of the kitchen into the front room. Does it by room like that.
Exactly.
Everybody out of the kitchen into the front room, please. Please, right there you go. Yeah. I think last chance for a piss there. Last chance for a piss. I mean,
you should get. They should be able to hire. I mean, you can hire everybody. You can hire people to come and give you a hug, for Christ's sake.
Even in that case,
you should be able to hire somebody to come along and get rid of your unwanted guests.
Even in that case, in Ireland, you'd have one guy going, "Is there time for one more drink?" I'd be, yeah. 12 cans of Guinness, please.
That's right. Yeah.
You'd still have that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
12 cans of Guinness, 4 whiskies, and
actually, no, something I just realised.
And whatever's left of the chicken roll.
I think the next time there's anybody, I think I'm going to do that thing that pubs used to do and flash the lights. You know, when you were giving people a 15-minute warning.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
No, I don't think... Well, I don't know. It's so long since I've been in a pub. Well, a proper pub. Well, I mean, obviously, the pubs in Roundwood, they just literally... They stay open until somebody dies. But I mean...
Yeah, they still do the national anthem on all the pubs there.
But I'm just saying, I assume Dublin pubs, do they, like nobody does that, do they? Flashes the lights and lets you know 15 minutes drink up time or no.
You know what you've just made me realise? I have no idea because I've never been able to stay up long enough to reach the closing of a pub.
God, you lightweight.
That hasn't happened for decades. And now I've only realised I don't know the answer because of that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you were going to say that you're always so drunk that you wouldn't have known whether the lights were flashing or not.
That too. That's another reason. There's a lot of reasons.
Man, it's the way forward. It's the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
forward.
Jeepers, remember that when the national anthem will come on and all? They turn on the lights.
The national anthem in a pub.
In some pubs, the
I
Parnell
remember.
Moonies used
I remember
to do it.
the sometimes at the end of
Nightclubs. Yeah, you'd have the stunning and all. Brewing up a storm, all that. And everyone dark and everyone having the crack. And then next thing, all the lights on. Out on the fiend.
Yeah.
And a bunch of piss cultures with their shoes missing and everything.
Yeah, still trying to hold their hands behind their back.
Stand to attention. Yeah. And people getting it wrong. Oh, say, can you see?
Yeah. Actually, that's
right.
Maybe that's the way. Then we don't need to get somebody to call to your house. Maybe you just say, Alexa, play the national anthem
and turn on the lights.
There it is. Time now.
Imagine that.
Everybody out.
In
Sorry,
your gaff.
you'll have to move on.
Imagine.
Look,
Well, it's 7
over
o'clock.
now. It's over now.
Yeah.
Just what can I say? Alexa, mind of her own.
You can handpick a few. Jim Clint, you're all allowed back after the national anthem.
You can have a lock in.
Yeah. It's having a nationalist lock in after the anthem.
Oh man!
Right.
Anyway, look, we're going to head off into the wild blue yonder, enjoy yourselves, and have a listen to some of the best bits from during the week. In fact, one of these best bits, and far be it from PJ himself to blow our own trumpets, although PJ isn't known to go for a shake and a cake, but one of these stories was actually featured in, and I kid you not, the Irish Times. Yes, the paper of record, as I think you'll find it's known. Very, very popular with people of a high intellect, and it was actually one of these stories was mentioned in aforementioned Irish Times.
I love that now that we're number one, we can't be ignored by people who'd love to ignore us. So that's what happened. So we were talking about Crocs and funny sandals and how they are unusual on the feet of humans. And I'd say someone in the Irish Times was, oh my God, I have to talk about this. And they did, yeah.
And
so
they
thank
did
you very much, Irish Times.
Yeah, they did it very nicely too, which is great. It's good to see they gave us a little bit of sympathy.
They did.
It was always nice.
They skated right over it. I loved the way they gave it without commentary. It was like they talked about this and they talked about this. Also on the radio that day.
I have nothing further to add.
Yeah, also on the radio that day there was a conversation. Yeah, so I have to say thank you very much for that.
Anyway, have a listen to that and some of the other best bits. Enjoy your time. We'll talk to you again soon.
GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. With
Get low prices and save on your car insurance today at
To be honest with you, there's lots of things we don't understand because what are we again? What's our generation?
We're X.
We're X.
Generation X.
So we're
That's what we
Generation
are, yeah.
X apparently, and so as a result, there's regularly things that we don't understand. One of the things that I have to confess I will never understand, even though I thought they were sort of aimed at us, right? I thought they were aimed at us.
Me too, yeah.
Because it was a thing about comfort over style.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But apparently not. Apparently it's the complete opposite way because it's, what do they call it now? Generation Alpha.
Generation Alpha are the kids now. That's the kids today.
And they've decided that Crocs are the way to go.
Are the coolest thing ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I despair. There's lots of things you can worry about in the world. I know there's wars and everything, and there's, people in need, and there's all sorts of terrible things happening in the
terrible
world.
things going on.
But surely Crocs have to be up there.
Up there as being despicable
Of major concern.
awful old yolks that were made to see on people's feet whenever we go. I mean, I don't know why we're exposed to this as people. It's absolutely, it's positively pornographic. Seeing these disgusting things wiggling off the end of people's legs. But Generation Alpha are one of the reasons they've become the fastest growing cool brand. I'm using air quotes because I don't know how else to say it. Because I can't say cool brand with a straight face. But cool brand.
Yeah. Would Generation Alpha call it cool? Is cool still
no,
cool?
they probably have another word. Fly. Or whatever, yeah. Generation Alpha.
It's a good
Yeah.
job you're so hip.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. They say, look at my plastic sandals are so fly. That's what they'd say, probably. Something along those lines.
Because I thought the idea behind the Croc thing was that forget about it. It's their it's that
That's it.
Simon
Shameless.
Cole.
They're shameless.
Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
That's that Simon Cowell quote about, he had that big luxurious car and it was a bit sort of ugly.
The Rolls Royce Phantom.
Is that what it was? No, I thought it was called something else.
Oh, okay.
And he made that comment that, you don't, when you're inside it, you don't care what the outside of it looks like.
Yeah, well, that's
that kind
true.
of thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the lap of luxury, you don't particularly care that outside it might look the part. I thought Crocs were a bit like that. That you just decided they're so comfortable that you don't care that you look ridiculous.
You look absolutely like a lunatic. You look like they look like prison shoes. You look like you've literally run away from San Quentin. But
they kind of look like work shoes. They look like the kind of things that people in kitchens and people in, you know what I mean, would wear because they're on their feet all day.
And all wear them.
Yeah.
And now you can get fashion accessories for them, little studs that go in the holes and all, lights and everything that go on them.
What?
Yeah, and jewellery and all, and sort of like fake diamonds and all these type of bits and pieces, and and the kids love them. The kids love them. Like you said, the first person I ever saw wearing them, and this is how I'll remember them forever. The first person I ever saw wearing Crocs, I remember thinking he gets away with it because he had a bald head and a ponytail and a big bunch of keys hanging off his belt. And I thought that's the only way.
Who was that?
I don't want to say who it is.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say it was somebody famous. I thought you were building up to like.
No, Jesus, no.
Or I thought it was maybe.
Famous.
I thought it was maybe in a film.
No, it was someone I know who I was working with at the time, and he bald hair, the ponytail, and a huge bunch of keys. You know that fella? You know them lads?
Wow.
Rock and rolls. People who like Deep Purple.
I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually surprised he was in Crocs. He sounds like a cowboy boot man, if you ask me.
No. It was one of those, tracksuits holding it, like, walking around still thinking he's cool. Yeah, half 90s barman, half rocker. You know those kind of lads? Wow. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Walking around, like,
because I always
grey ponytails. And
like, I did associate them a little bit as well. I assume they were the footwear of choice for all of the dry robers, were they? Do dry robers wear them?
I think they might have been responsible for making them mainstream. I do. I think they made them mainstream.
Yeah.
I think that happened. It was the old lads first who didn't care what they looked like. Baldy head, ponytail man. Then a couple of fancy L ones maybe saw them.
Right.
Gosh, they'll be fine down the bathing paddock or whatever it is. And then they sort of leaked into children's. Then saw them, and sort of became
that's kind of actually
acceptable to run down to the shop.
You have to question
now they're everywhere.
Whether or not you should be allowed, like, put, Crocs on a child, like, before the age of consent. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Because, like, that, the poor kid might not know better and then grows up assuming that Crocs are acceptable.
They're the only type of footwear where you can see a man in cycling shorts wearing, like, brown sandals and beige socks would look at you and go, I don't know how you leave the house looking like that.
GloryDaze. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova with InsureMyCars.ie.
Get low prices and save on your car insurance today at
InsureMyCars.ie.
They say now, and this survey has been done, and they've researched adults all over the world that say we spend 23 days a year of our lives trying to make our mind up and make a decision about things.
I well believe it.
23 days a year. Now that's down to everything. Like, you get a menu. Oh God, what do I want here? Or there's that wedding's on Friday. What are you wearing? Oh, mother God, I don't know what I'm going to wear. Or,
yeah. Where are we going on holiday this year?
Where are we going on holiday? Oh, do you want to go to the same place again? I can't be thinking about this. All these decisions. Now, if you think 23 days is long, it takes Jim 78 days a year. It's very difficult for the normal human being. Can you imagine what it's like in indecisive Jimmy's head? First, he has to self-flagellate, and then he gets all like, how do I pick something first? He thinks that doesn't upset anyone. That's what he does first. Right? How do I do? Well,
hang a second now. Come on. So obviously,
because the only person that doesn't like Jim is Jim, but he thinks everyone doesn't like him.
Okay, so I will accept I am a little bit indecisive.
My God,
I do struggle a little bit.
A little bit.
You know what I mean? I don't like to, because I'll be worried about getting it wrong and everything.
This is a man who ran away from Bewley's cafe counter because they asked him what he wanted and he couldn't handle the pressure.
I didn't run away from it. I never went in.
Oh, you never went in, I beg your pardon.
Excuse me. But anyway, it's good to know I'm not alone. So everybody, normal people, as you say, 23 days of their whole life.
Decision paralysis.
Is it whole life or every year?
23 days a year.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you something. I'm not alone.
Yeah, decision paralysis, that's what they call it. They're saying it's a real thing. They labour mentally over the smallest of things because they're small to the observer, but to the person trying to make the decision, very, very difficult, God,
I've just spotted there on that list that the classic one. What'll we have for dinner?
What'll we have for dinner? What'll we have for dinner? Jim asks me that all the time, and we don't even have dinner together. What'll we have for dinner? If we were to have dinner, what would we have? You know, all these things. Well, you see him now. On Friday, we're going to be in the Clayton hotels and everything, right? And Friday. Now, we all know what hotels do for breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Guarantee you, he'll be there on Friday morning going, oh, what did they... Oh, God. So
no, I'll tell you what will happen.
Do I remember the sausage? What a sausage is.
No, I'll have no problem choosing what to have. What'll happen is that Clint or whoever will say, what time do you want that at? And then I'll go, I'm in a spin.
You're in a spin.
You'll go because you always go now.
No, I have it now.
Do you not want to wait till later on? No, I'll have it later on as well.
I'll have it later.
I'll have it now. I'll always have it now.
Yes.
Just give it to me now.
My rule
Whereas
of life
I'll be
is
like,
always
well,
say
now I
yes.
have to factor in. Well, I probably have more time after 9, would I? And God, no, sure.
That's right.
Be.
And he'd be looking through the songs and all. Oh, jeez, that's very short. I'll never fit in a mouthful of beans there. And there's Led Zeppelin there on there. Oh, that's not the
consideration. That's what it is. It's procrastination as a result of consideration.
Whereas I'd be playing the Nova Noise with a mouthful of sausages.
You see, you talk to people and everything. We'd be in the middle of doing a story and you'd be like, shut up for a second, Jim, will you? I just have to make this sandwich.
Don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the difference is, man.
Yes, I'm decisive.
Yeah, decisive and inconsiderate.
Yes, that's right. It's about time people understood that. Yeah.
And I'm even decisive about being decisive.
Yeah,
yes, I am.
I'm decisive. I know what I want. I don't know when I want it. I want everything and I want it now.
Look, well, it's good to know that at least the North, 23 days of every year.
23 days.
We all spend trying to decide what to do.
Yeah. What to do, what decisions to make.
Yeah.
It's glorious, yeah.
Okay. Some of us 23 days every month. But
some people 23 hours a day.
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. With
Get low prices and save on your car insurance today at
obviously, you know at this stage that myself and PJ, we were over at the Parry Limps. We went over there just after the Banny Halls. We went over there for that.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Allegedly, now there's times we do stuff on the show and we immediately call foul on it. We immediately say we're not buying into this, and I'm afraid is one of these situations. PJ's good mate Si sent us this in this morning, right? Because he spotted it in one of the papers.
Yeah.
And allegedly, this is how Gen Z talk.
And Gen Z aren't even like the kids anymore. You know, Gen Z are out there, being in their 20s and getting ready for their own kids and all. Yet, any headline that starts with slang used by youngsters on social media revealed, you probably know it's not going to be completely accurate.
What I apparently said there was, if I was a Gen Z, I would have said that you and I were at the Paris Olympics, Parry Limps.
Yeah. And
we went over just after the Banny Halls.
This is
bank holiday.
This is ludicrous.
I've never heard. And now, bear in mind, I've kids in Gen Z.
You got Gen Z kids. Yeah,
and I've
hard
never
to believe. I know.
And I've never heard them speak like that ever.
No, even in text speak or anything like that. No,
never.
It's never happened. So they're saying that Gen Z love to abbreviate. This is in the Sun this morning, right? Love to abbreviate, and they say things like the pandemic was the Panny D, a jacket potato was a Jackie P. The Paralympics, like you said, is a Parry Limp. General elections are Jenny Lex. Mental breakdowns, here's one from me, is a Menti B.
Oh my God, it just sounds like you had a mint. Poor LPJ had a Menti B.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? What was that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I tried. People be going,
and then he went on and he had an opal fruit. He had a Menti B first. Though.
PJ had a Menti B. It was very hard on Jim. And then bank holidays are Banny Halls.
If something is expensive, it's spenny.
Hey,
that's a bit spenny, isn't it? What?
Just to put
who? Now, there's got to be right. The reason we're saying this to you is because we accept that we're old men.
I accept
but there's
that.
bound to be people. So what's the strict definition of Gen Z?
Right, well, let's Google it, right? Gen Z, just
because there must be members of Gen Z listening to us at the moment who can verify whether any of this is legit.
Nonsense. So born 1997 to 2012.
Okay.
Right, so
Wow, that
maybe
that
Jim's
is
kids
young.
aren't a thing.
No,
right.
actually, yeah, sorry. No, that is.
97 though, so there's people in
Oh,
their
97. I'd have one in there.
So you do have a Gen Zer in
Yeah.
there. Gen Z or Gen whatever they're called. Or Jenny Z. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Jenny Z. You have one Jenny Z.
I'd have one in there.
Yeah. So just to say, if anyone out there is speaking like this, right, oh my God, thank God the Panny G is over, I was just mad to get over to the Naughty Cairns. I can't wait till there's a new Jenny Leck, get those FFFG out, you know what I mean? If I don't
Mind
do
you,
that
you're going to
soon-
need a holly job.
Too right. If I don't get one soon, I'll have a Menti B. I'm emptying bottles of Savvy B like there's no tomorrow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell you, man.
By the way, when's the Platty Jubes?
Oh, I can't go to that. The Covey lives. The cost living cake. The Cosy lives. It's so spenny. That's the other one.
Wow.
It's so spenny. It's something to be really expensive. I just don't buy it. There's no way.
Like, now look at this. Morning, lads. Ian here. I'm in my 20s, born in 97. I've never spoken or heard anything like that.
I know. He's 97. He's cool. He speaks more like this. He's a jazzy cat roaming those streets, getting groovy with the choosies out there. Yeah, that's the way he speaks.
What's this? Morning, PJ and Jim. Secondary school kids back to school from today. Phasing them in so next year's. Well, I can't.
And that's Generation Alpha.
Yeah,
We won't even understand what they're saying ever.
At this rate.
They're a whole other kettle.
Somebody
of
wondering
fish
whether
out.
it was Gen Z who came up with Mickey D for the Michael D. Higgins.
I don't know, but like
Mickey D's was always McDonald's, wasn't it?
yeah,
No,
well,
Mackie D's that would have been, wouldn't it?
we don't know.
No, I don't know myself.
Now we don't even know the slang of our own generation. That's how bad it's gotten. Now we've forgotten the things we say. That's where we're at.
So look at it. Just if you are somebody who, what is it, 97 to 2012.
97 to 2012.
If you were born between 97 and 2012, you got to tell us whether or not that is regular chat between you and your mates.
There's a woman that works here, Ella. She's definitely Gen Z.
Right, yeah.
Can you even imagine walking up to her now? Me and me glasses and all. I mean, like, what t-shirt have I got? Oh, the same t-shirt I wear every day. Walking up there, giving her all that. All right, yeah. What you doing on the Banny Halls? You having a good one? I'd be like, I'd be arrested.
Oh, yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd be the one calling the police.
Yeah, he's at it again.
Glory Days. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova with
Get low prices and save on your car insurance today at
They say 43 now. According to one study,
Yeah.
is
Or
the top 42. I
42.
beg your pardon. I've just added on a year. 42.
You were trying to drag yourself into it, weren't you? You were trying to get yourself in there as being in the
it
age
just seems
bracket.
very low. That's all I'm saying. And very high in one way.
Yeah.
But they say 42 is the perfect age to become adventurous in your life. Yeah, 42. They say like a Storyteller is apparently some company that did this thing. I don't know who they are. But they say that more than 60% of people agree, if you survey them, that they're in desperate need of an adventure. That their lives have become boring and predictable and the same and routine. And even when they do something that's different, they sort of say, will we go to that place again? You know? And this is the thing. Even what they would call socialising and, going to shows or whatever, it's just not new anymore.
But you see,
and at 42 is the time to sort of branch out and go for it again.
We've talked about this before, right? It is one of those things you do find yourself saying, we should do something different. We go somewhere else. We do, and it sounds great in the conversation.
Not true. It's
and
just an
then
idea.
It comes to it, and you go, but sure, look, I mean, how much is? Oh, yeah,
It's only.
it's awkward, is it? You can only go. Oh, right.
I know, but that's it. It's just an idea. Oh, do you know what I'd love to do? You say, I'd love to go to Egypt or I'd love to change the holidays. I'd love to go to Somalia and be on a camp and all, and eat food that we hunt together and everything. Maybe a man will show us and we'll eat fish caught out of the Somalian sea.
Yeah.
And someone says, there's no sea in Somalia. It doesn't matter. Just something like that. Something totally different.
Roll with me.
And then, your missus goes, there's 3 flights on a thing. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm only saying. And then you go to Aldi the next day and they've changed where the meat is. And you're like, oh, for God's sake.
You've been listening to Glory Days, the best of Radio Nova's Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. Catch the show live weekdays 6 to 10 on FM, online at nova.ie or on the Nova app.
with insuremycars.ie. Get low prices and save on your car insurance today at insuremycars.ie.